And we are
People.
recording. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3, I think, of Transatlantic MMA. Really appreciate the page visit, the views, the love we've been getting. We've had a couple of good comments, some decent feedback on our Twitter and our Instagram page so far. So, um, thank you all, and good to see you again. Hello, Neil. How are you? How's New York?
Good, good. Yes, to Ben's point, thank you all. I'm not sure if you all know by now, but I run the Twitter account. Ben runs the Instagram. So yeah, we kind of when we started this, we set some slight expectations of ourselves and feel like we're way ahead of that. So that can only be done because of the support from friends and random people, and it's been a lot more fun. It's been a lot more fun than we initially anticipated. So thank you for everyone for joining in, and yeah, we've got plenty to talk about. Be it Trump telling the country to drink detergent.
Yeah, what
Apparently,
happened there? Sorry, because I don't,
yeah,
I haven't seen anything.
yeah, so I don't think it's actually as bad as what everyone made it out to be. I think he was referring to some medical disinfectant, and everyone blew the shit up as it always does. Like if Trump says anything, that's kind of what happens in the country, be it, left or right wing, it doesn't really matter. Um, I typically try to stay in the middle as best I can because people on both sides are batshit crazy if they're too far left or too far right. So yeah, it seems like the thing is, like, dude's obviously the fuck president of the United States, and he makes these comments, and it's like there's a large population of people with low IQs in America. Well, I suppose globally, but
How
yeah,
dare you?
yeah, we've just lost half of our fan base. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, there is a low IQ level in large portion of America. I'm sure you could say that globally, but when they're listening to the president of the United States talking about drinking disinfectant and they don't read or listen to the whole thing, that's slightly problematic. Apparently there's
Yeah,
already people that started drinking detergent to see if they can cure their fucking coronavirus,
yeah, but
which they might not have.
I don't know.
So,
I get the people are, maybe there's some large pools of uneducated people in certain parts of America with low IQs, fair enough or whatever. But I don't give a shit who tells you to drink detergent. If you have
I know,
one sniff of
I know.
detergent and you decide to go ahead and drink that, then you're fucking stupid. You're probably gonna die within the next couple of months anyway. You stupid fuck.
But bro, this is probably something you don't know about, but this was a viral trend in America where teenagers were eating Tide Pods. So if you don't know what a Tide Pod is, it's like a laundry detergent, right? And it's in the little like pods. It's about that big.
Fuck's
And kids in America were eating them, being hospitalized because it was a fucking like a trend on Instagram or TikTok or whatever the fuck it was. So like that's people doing that without hearing it from the president. That was like a teenage and like college thing. Like, dude, I saw somebody putting shit in a bong and ripping a bong rip with like fluid that you clean your fucking washing with. Like, in what world? Like, we are living in a simulation. A simulation.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah, yeah. Well, I tell you what, right? I'll tell you something that kind of fucked me up the other day a little bit. I was down at my parents' house, and they were explaining to me that, and I saw a couple of pictures of this as well on Instagram. Um, the other day, there was a large ring around the sun in the sky. Um, just the sun was like kind of middle of the day, up in the middle of the sky, and there was this big ring around it. It's like a kind of I don't know where it is, but it's like between you and the clouds or whatever, this big ring, and it's called a corona. Apparently it happens when there's a certain level of moisture in the air or something like that. So there was this massive corona in the sky the other day. So I'm I haven't properly googled what exactly a corona is, but I will be doing it. But the fact that there's now a big corona circle in the sky while we're all in lockdown from coronavirus
Yeah.
is starting to feel a bit Truman Show esque for me. I'm starting to think we're on some sort of simulation, or we're living some movie. I don't know what the hell's going on. Things are getting weird, bro.
Yeah, I mean, things have been weird for a while now, but now things are already starting to come to light. But yeah, anyway, so I mean, America's fucked. that said, sorry, America's not fucked. America's just, it's a very strange place to live at times. You know, when you've got Trump talking shit like that. We were just talking about it earlier. Like Biden is apparently been accused of rape now, so that's his number one presidential threat right now. So with that coming out, it looks like Trump will most likely be reelected, even with how badly he's handled all this. So it's just a very, very fucking weird time to be alive. And apparently, Kim Jong-un is apparently dead now too. So I mean, that's probably more of a positive thing, I would imagine, because that man's a psycho. But
Well,
yeah,
is it though? Because what's the succession plan? I bet you don't
well,
know, because I don't.
I don't
Right?
know. But
There's probably some. His son is probably 3 or something, and he's going to take over the dynasty or whatever.
so
Didn't he take over from his father that passed before him, like not too long ago? And
I think so. Yeah, I
he
don't
took
know
over
how. I
very
mean,
young.
this is just like apparently there was a rumor that his uncle did something to him or something like that, and this was definitely news at one point that apparently he shot and killed his uncle and the whole family for some small misdemeanor. And apparently that turned out to be false, and he actually fed his uncle and his uncle's family to dogs, like while alive. So
Yeah, I don't
if
know.
someone,
I don't know. There's so much fucking bullshit attached to his name.
oh
I'm sure
yeah,
that's it. That's some Game of Thrones shit. You just said to me like fed someone alive to dogs. I don't know. Really?
I mean they don't.
Maybe.
It's
Maybe.
also it's also a country where they don't allow cameras or news organizations. So
Oh
you know
yeah,
if
but there's a marked difference between not allowing a camera around the place and then feeding your uncle alive to a fucking pack of dogs. You know what I mean?
this is true, but I'm just spreading a little
Well,
bit
who
of
knows? Yeah,
propaganda. You know,
who knows? Who knows?
you
We're
sit
we're in the we're in the
back
propaganda
here,
spreading industry now with a
yeah,
podcast.
just sit here. Exactly, you just got to stir the pot. Um,
Sir, that
so
tea.
yeah. Anyway, aside from politics, which I don't know anything about, so I'm gonna get
Me
off this.
neither.
We have finally got our we finally launched our new logo, which should appear very soon. So there we go for everyone to see it. I think it looks nice and purdy like.
Mm.
Thank you again to Erin Ferry of Little Ferry Design. It's
Shout out,
awesome.
Aaron.
This is also the first time that she's done something like that. So yeah, it came out brilliantly. For anyone who doesn't know the story, as mentioned previously, I was born in South Africa, grew up in Ireland where I met this fuckwad, and I have since relocated to the States. But that's the little bit of background on
Born in South
transatlantic.
Africa, spent some time in Ireland, now in America, still haven't fully grown up.
I don't know
um,
about that, man. I don't know. I'm a puppy parent now. I'm married. You
yeah,
know,
how's
like
Odin? How's Odin? Little puppy.
he's good. He's
Yeah.
good. I can't wait for. I can't wait to watch fights. You know, because Sam's got a little bit more into it. But like, you know, I can sit him on my lap and watch violence all night. Like that's.
Oh boy, I swear to God, I get it. Like how long do we have until May 9th now? What, like 2 weeks
Two and a
today?
half
Is that right?
weeks. No, it's probably 2 weeks exactly, right?
2 weeks today. No, yeah, 2 weeks today. Good
Yeah.
God, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Um, yeah, so we've also confirmed our first guest with an exact time. We have a couple of people lined up, which is good, but on UFC 249, this person is extremely relevant. We're going to be joined by two guests next Thursday. So we're recording next Thursday night, and we're probably going to move to Thursdays from now on. So we have Danny Kennedy, who was my jiu-jitsu coach for a period of time in 10 Planet Dublin. Um, Danny's a purple belt under Jeremy Fields. Jeremy Fields is a 10 Planet second degree black belt who owns 10 Planet Corona in California. Um, Jeremy is also a very close training partner with Tony Ferguson, who is obviously one half of our main event on May 9th, UFC 249. So Jeremy's been in isolation or supposed isolation. He's been part of Tony's camp, this camp, I think he's been training with Tony for a couple of years now. But just to kind of give you guys a little snapshot into who's coming on. So he's coming on Thursday evening. We'll hopefully get that shared. So um, this is Jeremy with Tony, and there's him with one of my favorite people on the planet, Eddie Bravo. They're in isolation doing some training. So, and here's Tony Ferguson, There's Jeremy there in the back. So I can't fucking wait to get chatting with him, see what's going on, get his thoughts on what's happening on.
I'll give you a brief round of applause for wrangling that up. Obviously extremely exciting to be soon to be talking to somebody who is literally bleeding and probably sweating all over Tony Ferguson on a regular basis. And I'm sure it's the other way around.
But, after that.
Yeah, obviously, awesome work from Mr. Doyle on getting him in. Obviously, I don't want to say it too prematurely, just in case anything happens between now and Thursday.
He's confirmed, you know what I mean? So hopefully not. But yeah, it turns out. Well, obviously, as part of my job in recruitment, I do business development. So that's reaching out to people that don't know me and don't want to hear from me and asking them to work with us. And I've had many years doing that now, and I've honed my craft to an extent. I think it's something I'm not uncomfortable doing. So I was last week. I took a day off because the weather was good. So I just started canvassing, started blasting out some messages, and Jeremy and Danny both came back and said, "Hell yeah, neither of us have been on a podcast before, but fuck it, let's do it." So I said, yeah, we've only ever done 2, and they're both dog shit, so it's gonna be all good. Yeah, jump on, and we'll have a yap. So looking forward to that. So
I mean, I don't know. I mean, personally, like obviously, I've never trained in a gym. As in, I've never rolled in a gym before, but I've obviously got a massive, keen interest in jiu-jitsu because of you. Have you ever rolled with black belts before? This is obviously somebody who's a high level black belt, coming on to chat shit with us about MMA, which is very fucking cool. So, have you rolled with many before or any?
I'm not sure I've actually ever rolled with a black belt. There's very few. Well, there are black belts there are black belts in Ireland, but they're all associated with the big gyms. I mean, in 10 Planet Dublin, I mean, the guys are only getting started. So like Danny's a high level purple belt. But trust me, he could do whatever the hell he wants to me at purple belt level. So, but the black belts, like most of the black belts in Ireland, would probably only do their rolling with professional fighters.
Yeah.
If you roll with someone like me and.
Well, it's just so that I
injure you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what few black belts there are in the country are probably tied to camps and or are doing coaching and doing mentoring and stuff like that. So not so much, but I've rolled with plenty of people that have choked the hell out of me and manipulated me in uncomfortable positions, but none of them are black belts. So that probably says a lot about me being pretty shit at jiu-jitsu. So, but fuck it, I enjoy it. It's good, and I'm buzzing to get talking to Jeremy, and then obviously we've a couple of guests lined up for the few weeks following. I'm just delighted to be talking to people like this, man. To be honest, it's cool as fuck. So
we're giving something back. We didn't want people to just listen to the two of us every single week in, week out. So it's exciting for us to be able to announce this in our 3rd week that we actually have some people of substance coming on to chat shit with us. So yeah, that's gonna be exciting. I mean, I'm most excited just to genuinely ask him, just be like, what is Tony Ferguson like? Is he as fucking crazy as he appears, or is he a normal guy that just is Twitter illiterate and just can't send a proper tweet without capitalizing every word,
He does that on purpose. He said he does that on purpose to annoy people.
It's fucking weird. The amount of extra time that must take that man.
I was
every word.
I had a bit of on the madness of Tony Ferguson there. I had a bit of a realization during the week. So I was just looking at Tony Ferguson cutting weight as, what the hell is he doing? Why would you cut weight? He's a fucking lunatic, blah, blah, blah. But in actual fact, it was an absolute genius move, right? Because he was the number 1 talked about athlete in the entire planet for the last 2 weeks, right? Yeah. Because he made weight for no reason. His Instagram followers have gone from 1.4 million to 2 million in 6 days, right?
Really?
Yeah, oh. Yeah, 20% increase, right? So what the fuck do I know? Tony Ferguson, do your thing. Fair play to him.
Also, everyone keeps talking about him having to cut weight twice, and I still don't think it's a good idea. However, I mean, this has been announced, and it's confirmed now, but it's already been cancelled once, right? So how does Gaethje fit into that? Like, has he been preparing for this to be re-announced? Like, has he been like, fuck, I can't really train at 100% capacity, not knowing if this is going to get pulled again. So, where is he at potentially with the weight cut? Because it's only 2 weeks away. So if he hasn't started to train in that capacity, like, he may struggle to then cut, and then it's almost an equal kind of playing field at that point,
He said that he, like, when it got cancelled, I think he went for a pizza and some beers or something like that, or he indulged anyway. I can't remember what exactly he said. But then, like, 2 days later, there was talk of it being reconfirmed at a later date. So then he kind of got back in the camp, whatever. So he's saying that the extra 2 weeks are gonna greatly benefit him, as opposed to
pizza and beers, though. When you,
I don't know if there was beers. I might have made that up because I've been drinking beers. I've been drinking a lot of beers the last 2 nights.
Fair enough. Either way, like, if he said he indulged, like, there is the possibility that he thought this probably isn't going to happen anytime soon, and how much could one day of indulging 2 weeks out from a fight really affect him? So,
he would have. Well, he would have been 3.5 weeks at that time.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, look, either way, I think, I'm still a little bit skeptical. I don't want to get too excited, because just for the fear of letting myself down, I think we'll know, like, probably a couple of days beforehand. And if nothing changes from there, then we're probably good to go. But yeah, I mean, look, they've made it feasible. The only thing is, though, Tony and Justin, like, that's 2 fighters that are almost like the most likely to end up in the hospital after a fight. So
I said this earlier, actually. If this goes 5 rounds, can you fucking imagine? Can you imagine the fight we'll see if this goes 25 rounds?
They will, like, honestly, there will not be any blood left in them. Like, they will be cut from fucking everywhere. I mean, I told you I was watching Tony and Pettis, just rewatched that the other day.
Same.
Like, that cut that he opened Pettis up with the foot, on his ground, on the ground while rocked. Like, he was badly hurt by Pettis twice, and he still manages to fucking gash Pettis, like, while rocked. Like, oh man, this fight is gonna be. I just pray Tony wins it. Like, Tony deserves to fight for a belt against Khabib, and yeah, it needs to happen.
I'm just gonna have a quick glance through this card here, brother.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, this is just ridiculous, isn't it?
This co-main event, man, has me really excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody's giving Dominic Cruz a chance. It's crazy.
I'm glad that they've made that they've brought Ngannou and Rosenstruck so much higher up the card as well. Because fucking Hardy on the main card pisses me off.
Cerrone and Pettis.
In what fucking world do you have Donald Cerrone and Pettis on the prelims and Greg Hardy's ahead of them? Like, I just don't fucking understand the logic behind it. And fucking Uriah Hall and Jacare. Like, that's a great fucking fight. Why? I just don't understand it. It fucking irks me. It irks me that Dana has such a hard-on for a fucking woman beater. It destroys my soul. Go on, defend him.
I'm not defending him. There's nothing you can do about it. So, you can leave the room while he fights if you want. Come back for the next fight, whatever.
I mean, I'm still gonna watch it.
He's a fucking scumbag, whatever. But he's fighting in the cage. There's a 50. Well, there's probably not, because they're feeding him sacrificial lambs. But before he hangs it up, we're gonna watch him get the shit kicked out of him on several occasions. What more do you want from a woman beater? I know why everyone's giving up. We're gonna see him get his ass kicked.
I was hoping that Volkan would do him, but I mean, Hardy actually. I hate to even give him a semblance of a compliment, but, like, although he lost the fight easily, he still did a little bit better than I was or a lot better than I was expecting him to do. I thought
he's an athlete.
Volkan, I really thought Volkan would destroy him. Just on all aspects of that fight. But anyway, what a card. I mean, I know we chatted about it last week, but if that does go ahead,
in addition to 249, they've announced a card on the following Wednesday, so that's the 13th. That's going to be headlined by Glover Teixeira and Anthony Smith, which is a top light heavyweight fight, which is which is, I don't really give a fuck if I'm being honest about Glover Teixeira and
Yeah,
Anthony Smith, but
I
I'll
feel
watch it because I'm bloodthirsty because I haven't had any. I haven't
yeah,
seen any fights in 3 weeks. But it doesn't
I
really
feel
mean anything, that fight. I mean, Smith wins
yeah,
impressed me. It kind of fires him
I
back up,
feel
but he
like
got destroyed by Jones. So
yeah. I mean,
and the
I feel
16th,
like
sorry, and there's a card announced for the 16th. Overeem and Walt Harris, which I think
well,
is Walt Harris's first fight back since his daughter-in-law has passed. So
yeah.
best of luck to him there. Hopefully, he gets a big win. That'll be nice to see.
I was just about to say, like I mean, you can't really dislike Overeem. It's a veteran sport. He was very, very unlucky to go out that way against Rosenstruck, and he fought brilliantly in that fight. So that was very, very unfortunate for him. But you can't imagine anyone would wish ill on Walt Harris's return, given what he's faced. I mean, a lot of people made the point that he might not ever fight again. He might not recover
Yeah,
from it. So fucking first off, not that he's going to hear it, but good for you, man, for fucking getting back in there and doing what you're very, very good at. And I really, really, I mean, if anyone for somebody, could you imagine a story if he was to go on a run and eventually fight for a title?
yeah, fuck yeah, that'll be awesome. That'll be awesome.
That's movie shit, and I think, not that I think he struggles against the elite. I think he struggles against DC, against Stipe, even potentially against Ngannou, or even Rosenstruck. You don't really know, but he's got heavy hands. He's a big, big boy, and I think anything can happen at the heavyweight division. So if there was ever going to be someone who won 3 knockouts in a row, and the last one was in a title fight, I would hope it was Walt Harris.
Yeah, yeah, and he's. I mean, look, he's big, he's fast, he's got power,
Yeah.
he's got a lot of potential. I couldn't tell you where he's training. Where's Walt Harris training now? If we know.
I actually don't know. I need to get better at definitely need to get better at looking at camps lower in the division, because it's interesting when you see these camps kind of way up. It's even if somebody's kind of ranked 10 and they're fighting with somebody who's a champion in another division, it carries so much weight. So I definitely need to get better. As for Glover and Smith, I feel like Glover's a gatekeeper now, and that's really, it's going to be his role. He's still a big name, it's a former UFC light heavyweight champion, but at the same time, it's just like
Glover?
Yeah, Glover. Didn't Jones win the belt off of Glover?
Oh, Neil, this is supposed to be an MMA podcast, you hairy asshole. You don't even know who Jones won the fucking belt off? Glover. Glover Teixeira.
6 years
Damn
ago.
it, Neil. Cut. We're gonna start this shit again now, you fucking.
Anyway, go on, educate me then.
Jones won the belt off Shogun Hua.
Fuck.
2011. No, Jones and Glover Teixeira did fight. That's probably why you're getting confused there. But Jones bet the fuck out of him over 5 rounds. He had those shoulder cranks.
Bald cunts.
Say again.
They're both bald cunts, so that's why I got confused.
Yeah, well, they're both Brazilian non-bald and 205-pound fighters, but that makes absolutely no excuse for you being.
I'm dyslexic as fuck. All right, leave me alone. Anyway, moving.
God
swiftly.
damn it.
Yeah, this is why you have editing available.
Absolutely not.
you're not going to get it right every time, right?
One take.
Anyway,
we're here to do one take, so we don't have enough time not to do that.
But with Glover, I feel like he's just, he's a stepping stone now. And then with Smith, I feel like, Smith needs Jones to retire because he's never beaten him. But I think Smith has a good chance against anyone in the top of the division. But I mean, it's already Reyes and Santos at this point. They're pretty much next in line to go back at Jones. After 2 very, very good performances. So, I mean, Santos did it with fucking both of his legs blown out, and put on an exceptionally good performance. So it's really got to be damn. I don't really see where this fight leads to, because Smith isn't going to get a rematch against Jones after that performance. So what's the point of it?
it's felt to me for a while at 205 that they are making certain fights just to make the fights.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
try and give you another example. Like Jimmy Manuwa had a few fights there against people. It was like, all right, like Corey Anderson and Jimmy Manuwa. I was like, all right, like what's are either of these going to really get to the title ever? At that time, I would have said no. Corey Anderson obviously has looked impressive late, but I was like, what is this fight? Alexander Gustafsson though is getting an itch apparently in Sweden, so he might be getting ready to reinsert himself into the mix. Um, Obviously, he's lost to Smith, lost to Jones, but they're the only two people he's lost, I think, at light heavyweight, bar DC, but DC is now at heavyweight, so I'm excited to see
Yeah.
him back if he comes.
I am. I'm not because I'm a huge fan of Gustafsson just because he seems like a very, very fucking cool, down to earth guy. You know, he's put on some absolute wars both with Jones and DC. A lot of people argue that he could have won the belt both times. You know, if not at least one. I disagree. I think he lost both in two exceptionally good contests that were just very, very tight and could have gone either way. But yeah, I don't really see what he does differently. You know, I don't really want to see him against Reyes and Santos just because of the power that they carry. You know, I don't want to see him going out late in his career, you know, after suffering big KOs. Like Weidman, for example, you know, I feel like if he comes back, it could be a similar scenario. Also talks of Luke Rockhold coming back, which
I'm okay with that.
I'm more excited for that, and I dislike the guy personally tremendously, tremendously. But
Why? Because he's a better looking version, better looking, handsome, successful.
Speak for yourself.
Why do you dislike him?
What'd you say?
Why do you dislike him? I know you're with the masses here, and most people dislike him because he's arrogant, right? I suppose.
It's more the build up. You know, obviously, I've recently written an article on him coming back, which you've read, and I think I mentioned multiple times in that it was the attitude that he brought into the Bisping fight, how he fought against Bisping. You know, he deserved to get knocked the fuck out, and it's not even for the love of Bisping. It's like he came in with his hands at his hips the entire time. He showed Bisping no respect. You know, got hit and went down with the first clean strike that Bisping really landed. You know, and it's like you want to talk all this shit, you want to make out as if Bisping's not even close to your level, and then you go and get knocked out in the first round. Like, who's the dumbass now? You know what I mean? And
surely he got his in being knocked out. No, you know,
yeah, of course. But I mean, look, did he really change? You know, and what I wrote about was like, did he change anything after that? You know, he came back, he beat David Branch, you knocked him out. But I mean, you'd expect him to do that 10 times out of 10. You know, then he fought Romero and seemingly had the same. You know, seemingly went about that fight and the build up the same way he did against Bisping, and it's like, how are you not taking Yoel Romero seriously? You know, and he got slept. And then he was like, okay, fuck the middleweight division. There's nothing more for me. He went up to light heavyweight. He fought Jan, however you pronounce Jan's.
Blachowicz.
Polish power, you know. And look, he went up in the division. Probably not the best to move given his chin was already a little suspect. But essentially what I'm getting at is
he got walloped.
Yeah, he got
and he went down like
it was the same defensive mistakes. You know, it's the hands low. You know, there's no defensive boxing. There's no in and out. He's not trying to make it difficult for people to hit him. And, you know, offensively, you know, as I mentioned in the article, like, he's exceptionally good. Like, he's a brilliant kickboxer. He carries so much power. Like, every time I feel I've seen him fight, like Rogan talks about that. He's like, you don't want to hold pads for Luke Rockhold. You know, like his gym partners don't want to.
He's massive. Did you see the video of him? Did you see the video of him hitting a hip throw on a bull?
Yeah, like it's insane.
No, it's not a full size bull, but still.
So like the guy
gets the bull in a mounted guillotine. Bull nearly gives up. Bull nearly tapped out.
Fucking hoof going on. Anyway, yeah, like I feel like he has all the skills in the world to you know, fight. I mean, I would, if he sorts out his issues defensively and he protects the chin, that's obviously suspect. Like, I would love to see him in Adesanya. Love to see that fight. You know, that's an absolute fucking striker's delight. That, you know, and I would still
Same.
definitely favor Adesanya.
Yeah, does he come back at 205 or does he come back at middleweight?
I would think he should probably come back at 185 because, to my knowledge, I don't think he had any huge issues cutting the weight. So
I think it's him versus Weidman, bro. I think that's the fight to make. If it's middleweight.
Well, that, in my opinion, if they both lose their next fight, you've got to make that and then just be like, look, both of you just fucking call it quits. You know, you were great.
Same thing like we were saying about Cerrone and Pettis, right? It's a matchup you can make on the way out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's funny. There's a few of them hanging around. Diaz and McGregor is one of them now.
Yeah.
What? Just quickly on McGregor. How does this play out for him, lightweight? What happens over the next 4 or 5 months of lightweight, in your opinion?
So how I want to see it play out is...
How you want to see it play out, or how you think it's going to play out? Can be both.
I'm not actually sure, because I think they both tie into one another, because Khabib's not fighting anytime soon, right? So
September, October, Dana said yesterday.
So what I don't want to happen, and this could very, very easily happen, is Tony beats Justin and calls McGregor out, and McGregor gets a title shot against Tony. And in that fight, I think...
Ooh, in July or something?
Yeah, in July.
Fuck me, I didn't think about this. Fuck.
Yeah, so Tony will want to fight pretty quick. You know what Tony's like. Tony just wants to scrap. And, like, Tony's
he will make a fortune for this fight, so maybe he might.
Yeah.
Plus, he had his eyes on Khabib for a while. But, yeah, you raise a good point, man. I didn't think of that. July,
I think
August.
Tony is not the type that's going to get distracted by money. I think that man is, like, as real as it gets, and I think he's just like, I want to fucking fight. So that is something I think there's every chance that he knows he won't be able to fight Khabib for another 6 months or whatever. So he calls out McGregor, and McGregor gets an immediate title shot. I think that could very, very likely happen. What I would much prefer is he gets the loser of Tony and Gaethje. I think he's very, very, very. He's got a very good chance of beating both. Or McGregor, that is.
I'd like to see Paul.
And yeah, I mean, I would love to see that, but I don't think it's likely. I feel like Poirier, as much as I love him as a fighter and as a human. Like, he seems like a really cool guy. He just seems. No one seems to mention his name. You know, no one seems to really care. As good as what he is, like, no one's really calling him out. Like, no one's really. You know, and I would be, you know, like, I would fucking be if I was hungry. But I mean, like, Dan Hooker.
I don't know. Yeah, Dan Hooker. Yeah. Well, that fight. So that fight was booked and supposed to happen, but now Dan Hooker is eligible for Fight Island, apparently.
Yeah.
Dustin Poirier is not, but he's eligible for Florida, so that fight can no longer go ahead. I mean, what else do you do?
Yeah.
Poirier, Felder can't be.
No.
Maybe it could be if the limitations are as severe as they sound.
I mean, it wouldn't really be that. I mean, I'm more than happy with that fight, you know, and I feel Felder got a very raw doing against Hooker. You know, I like Hooker a lot, but I felt he got very, very lucky with that decision. I felt Felder won, I wouldn't say comfortably. It was definitely a close fight, but I thought Felder did more than enough to win that scrap. And I feel like if it was anywhere else, but New Zealand. But was it New Zealand? Yeah, it was New Zealand, right?
New Zealand. I agree with you, but I think that Felder lost his fight against Edson Barboza before that. And that was a split decision. So what goes around comes around, you know.
It's not a bad
It
call.
is what it is. So
anyway, back to your initial question. I think most probable right now is Tony beating Justin and asking and saying or calling McGregor out. If that doesn't happen, if Justin wins, he's going to call McGregor out too. So I think it's very.
He wants Khabib.
I don't know. I mean,
Justin Gaethje wants Khabib. I'm telling you, I've seen every minute he's done in interviews recently. He wants Tony Ferguson, and then he wants Khabib.
Who doesn't want McGregor though? Everyone knows they're getting the fattest paycheck they're ever going to get. So, you know, and again, it ties into.
It's a big paycheck against Khabib as well, man. Khabib is nearly as big, if not.
It's not a McGregor paycheck though.
No.
Particularly after, you know, what they've done with Cowboy.
But it's the undisputed belt. It's the undisputed belt.
Yeah.
Justin Gaethje wants to be the best, you know.
Yeah.
I'll send you on because he's done a couple of interviews recently. I'll send them on to you because yeah, he's I don't know. I don't think so. I think if Justin wins, there's no chance that Tony might take a fight in the middle. Yeah, it
Yeah,
wouldn't surprise me. And I suppose the UFC could also always suggest it's Justin Gaethje, and he could say it, but I don't think that's on his mind right now. I think Justin Gaethje's Justin Gaethje's mo is Tony fucking Ferguson. Jesus, can you imagine actually being Justin Gaethje right now, knowing that in 2 weeks' time you're going to have to get in a cage with Tony Ferguson? I'd
I
say
don't think. I
there's not a
don't
whole lot else going on in his head, huh?
but they're both almost as crazy as each other. I think Justin's a little bit more normal, but when it comes to getting, into a cage, like the man is literally saying to Tony, like, "Are you willing to die?" I am, and I believe him. I think Justin's just that type of way. Like
Yep.
the guy just wants to throw down.
That's the other thing. There could be an absolute. This could be just the craziest fight of all time, and both of them could be injured for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we're waiting anyway.
It's got the potential of being just an insane fight. I can't see it going 5 rounds though. I already can't. I think this is being stopped either way, and late in the second, early in the third. I think the amount of punishment that both of these men put out is just, it's so absurd that you can't do that for 5 rounds. And as a fan, I want to see 5 rounds, absolutely.
Tony can. Tony definitely can.
Yeah, I mean, as a human being though, like, do I really want to see like 5 rounds of two people just absolutely murdering each other and the potential, repercussions of that? Like, maybe not.
Hell yeah. Why are you a fucking UFC fan in the first place? Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. To be fair, I did watch all 5 rounds of Mark Hunt and Bigfoot Silver, so I'm sure I can watch Tony and Justin. But yeah, man, that's fucking, yeah. There's some fucking really 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 fun shit coming up for us.
Yeah.
Really fun shit.
It's true. Speaking of fun shit, I have been kicking coronavirus's ass here for the last like week and a half. You ever play Age of Empires when you're younger?
I'm not really a computer guy, to be honest. I've never really played games on a computer. It's always been like video games on a PlayStation or an Xbox.
I mean, I was always the opposite. I never had a PlayStation. I always played on the PC for some reason. I don't know what that's about, but Age of Empires anyway. Anyone listening that wants Age of Empires, I have the link to the full game download. It downloads like 8 different versions in one file, and you can play any game, anytime, any scenario, any campaign mode. So if anyone is interested in Age of Empires, drop Transatlantic MMA or me, Ben, a message. I'll send it straight across to you. Bertie, by the way, I think it's just hacked Pokemon Yellow on the phone too. So we have Game Boy Pokemon Yellow on the phone for the next week. So
Sam still has her little Nintendo Color or whatever with Pokemon Yellow.
I still have my Game Boy. See, does these headphones go flying out of my head now? Look at this fucking bad boy.
Is that even the color? Yeah,
No.
that's the new color. Still the fucking greatest game ever invented.
I got Pokemon Blue in there. Yeah, I got a hammock. A hammock arrived yesterday, just in time for the sun. Today was lovely, so I might play a bit of Pokemon in the hammock. I ordered a hammock on Amazon. That's the best thing I've ever bought, I think.
You're in that phase now of like, what don't I have and definitely don't need, but I'm still gonna fucking order it anyway because I'm in quarantine.
Pretty much. I feel like a dog in the house when the postman arrives. I know it's a package for me. I'm like, ah! Like, and then Caesar. I thought one of the dogs started barking there.
It was me, bro.
No, I know. I thought they heard you barking. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, and then I go running down the stairs to meet because like when they're delivering the package now, they'll like come to the door, wait until you come to the door, leave the package down, fuck off, and then we'll like wait a minute, open the door, spray the package, just fucking disinfectant, bring it in, open it up. So,
oh, you go to that extent, yeah?
Yeah.
So
we have the spray, so like we have the spray at the door. So like anything, like even the shopping, when we bring the shopping in, we give it a spray down.
I mean, if we what we've done is if we go shopping, for example, we'll put the shit away, and then after we put the shit away, we'll wash our hands, and then when we get a package, we'll open the box and then take whatever is out, because it takes 2 or 3 days for it to travel anyway. So in that space of time, whatever's in the box is going to be fine. Whatever could have potentially been on it is gone.
Oh, so yeah, man. I had about I don't know, maybe 5-10 days before we started working from home. I got a package. I ordered a clock that shoots the time onto the ceiling by laser, right? So as my fat ass could roll over and be like, without having to reach my phone, right? So I ordered this thing on eBay, but a lot of eBay links to like Wish. Amazon is always quick, but eBay sometimes links to like you can buy things on eBay and they arrive 2.5 months later. You buy something on Amazon, you're getting it within 2 weeks. So I bought this thing on eBay, completely forgot that I bought it, right? We're in the office freaking out about coronavirus. I think things are just kicking off in Italy or kicking off in Spain. And next thing, this package comes through reception. I'm like, oh yeah, I wonder what this is. Same thing, present. My tail is wagging. I'm delighted. I'm like, oh yeah, go ahead, open the box, see what's open. I open it up, right, and all these fucking Chinese symbols. I'm like, oh shit, made in China, made in China, bro.
Yes.
And I said, look at me. I saw your door open, and I went and tried to close my door. So this thing, I open up anyway, it's this clock, made in China, Chinese symbols everywhere, and I freaked the fuck out. I was like, shit, what if I didn't know anything about it then. Right? I was like, what if it survives in a box? So I was like, fuck. So I I in a panic and got a plastic bag and just put it in a plastic bag and then put it in under a desk that no one was sitting on. I don't know what I was doing, but I was convinced I just dropped a dirty bomb in the middle of fucking work, and the whole country was about to come down.
It's unreal, like how paranoid this has made me.
Yeah.
I sat down earlier on, and I was like, fuck, like did I wash my hands? Like what? Like fuck. Like shit. What the? Fuck. Have I touched my face? Like shit. What else have I touched? Like, do I need to go and disinfect the whole house? I'm like, you're probably gonna be fine, but anyway, yeah. Like you should just get on with it. But so paranoid, like just freaking out over nothing. I think the only concern, like as I said multiple times, like I couldn't really give a shit if I got it. I'm sure I would be absolutely fine. It's more like the potential being quarantined for 2 weeks, like in a hospital. You know what I mean? Like that could happen if you get bad enough, substances. What am I talking about? If you get bad enough symptoms, like you can get locked in a hospital bed for 2 weeks. Like fuck that. Could you imagine? It's bad enough being in your own home. Imagine being in a hospital where all this shit's going on. Yeah. And also I just checked because I knew that Glover had fought for a belt against Jones, and Jones whooped his ass in a title fight. That's what it was.
Yeah, no, I said that.
I didn't know.
Because I was saying during that title fight, Jones was hitting him with it. If you remember, they were like clinching against the fence, and Jones was hitting him with like the shoulder twist, and like he'd like dislocated Glover's. Yeah, but he bet the fuck out of him. That was one of Jones's best performances. Yeah. But you're still very wrong.
I know. Yeah. Jones is.
I believe you brought it up again. God damn you, Nick.
Jones is such an enigma, though, isn't he? Like, the whole.
Just because there's something else there.
No, an enigma.
Yeah. I was like, whoa.
Dude, get your fucking head out of the gutter. God damn it.
I don't know. Yeah. You can be pretty fucking loose with your mouth, you hairy asshole.
Well, I'm not going to say that word ever, bro. Don't worry.
Obviously.
Anyway, I was going to say, because
I don't know, what were you going to say, bro?
those performances like what you mentioned against Glover, Rampage, where he just demolished that man, like he made him look like an amateur.
Yeah,
that was a great performance. Was all that shit fucking PEDs? Was that shit just because he was awesome and his fight IQ is so high now that he's like, I don't need to knock people out, put myself at risk. I can win decisions, like he's done against Reyes and Santos. Obviously, it's not anywhere near as exciting.
I don't know, though. I don't know. Like he's like these are close fights with Reyes and Santos. Like for example, Gustafsson, right? He won that fight without putting himself in too much risk, really, pretty handily. Took him down. But Gustafsson too, the rematch. Like if he can do that, well, why doesn't he do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't attempt one takedown against Santos or Reyes based
No,
on his
no, he
previous.
did. He wrestled in the fourth and fifth against Reyes. That's how he won that fight. He took him down multiple times.
Oh yeah, well yeah, down
I
and
mean,
then pop right
it
up
was,
again.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't like he took him down and dominated him.
But
It wasn't, or he didn't have a massive amount of control
yeah,
on, while on the ground, but he still was able to get Reyes down and keep him there for a period of time. As I said,
I
it
mean,
was
and maybe Reyes is just better, but it surprises me that you can take Gustafsson down and dominate him on the ground, and you can't do it to Reyes.
well, I
Because
was
Reyes isn't
shocked
a wrestler;
by.
he's a football player. Like,
Yeah.
whatever the hell that
I
means.
mean, I was shocked by both Santos and Reyes' performance. Like, I
Yeah,
did not give them a shot before that fight. I thought Jones is way too good, and
yeah.
both of them looked very, very comfortable in there. And particularly Santos. Like, if Santos hadn't have hurt himself, like, the man literally could barely walk. Most doctors were like, we have no idea how this man even stood after what happened. Never mind, continued to fight for 3 rounds. It's absurd. So.
One
Um,
3 rounds, right? Did he not do it in the first?
Maybe I thought it was in the second, but anyway,
Yeah,
it's
still,
still
still.
yeah,
Even if he went, should remember Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley
yeah,
was on one leg. He was jumping around the place, and there's like similar enough injuries.
yeah.
And Dos Santos is a big fucking hammer in his chest. By the way, didn't know that he was nailing Yana Kunitskaya. God damn it, my pronunciations are on point today. You
Right.
won the Russian fighter who fought Chris Cyborg, Chains and Jackson's. They're pregnant, yeah, or they're pregnant. Yeah, that is the correct term.
Hold on,
They
hold
are
on,
pregnant.
hold on. Can we talk about this for a second? Because there's been a lot of shit about this.
Is it?
Brian Ortega, right, has been with apparently Summer Rae, right, Claudia Gadea. Who else? There was somebody else recently.
Mr. Celia Girl, Brian Ortega.
Like fucking ultra smokes, like absolute fucking weapons. This guy's been
What did
getting.
you say? Ultra smokes.
Yeah, have you never? That's obviously an American term, I would imagine.
America.
I mean, Summer Rae is one of the hottest chicks I've ever seen.
But is it just? I know there was a photo with him, but does that?
But this is the question I'm asking because like.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Getting,
I mean, Conor McGregor had photos of Rita Ora and all that shit. I thought.
oh yeah,
Who
I mean,
knows?
at the time, McGregor's probably bigger than Rita Ora now. So
Yeah.
this is what I mean. Like Brian Ortega, he was with Halle Berry as well. Now that was just a picture. I'm pretty sure Halle Berry's like married with kids. Not that I give a shit, but
She's getting on there in years as well. I think she's like 50.
yeah, but
Halle
she's
Berry.
still smoking hot.
Oh, hell yeah, she's still Catwoman, the OG Catwoman.
Anyway, hey, do you know what time we're at? Just in case we can tell our wives. Just skip by this bit. Just in case we get ourselves in trouble.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that.
Fucking wives are gonna be watching this back. Oh, that was really that was an interesting topic you were talking about.
We both know they pretend to watch these back, but they don't fucking listen. We're all good. They ain't gonna hear shit.
or they just put it on and they leave their phone on overnight and
Yeah.
mute or something. It's like, oh yeah, I watched the whole thing last night. No, you fucking didn't.
Whatever, we still appreciate the views. I like, did you listen to the podcast? Oh yeah, I'm like, all right, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking,
this is not the topic of conversation for Hayani anyway. I don't know about Sam, but these fights, Hayani be like,
yeah.
No, thank you.
Honestly, I feel like Sam has been like almost as excited, if not more, about this like than I've been almost. She's been like super excited about it. Like she was like so excited for the logo and shit. Like she thinks it's the coolest thing ever. It's like we're just literally getting on the fucking face conference and like just chatting shit for an hour. It's not that cool, Well, it is. It's definitely cool, but like it's not like this like mind blowing thing, And we're so fucking late to it,
The only downside is I have to stare at your fucking fat head for an hour a week.
I've got look at that forehead. Look at fucking Jimmy Neutron over there with that forehead. Look at that.
Bro, I've got like a 9 head.
Oh my god!
Look at my face is on the bottom half of my head. Look, and then there's like another 50%. Just,
you're like fucking what's his name, Professor Quirrell and Voldemort.
It's all good. What, bro? I don't know who that is. Professor Quirrell. Is that what you said?
It's in the first Harry Potter movie, and he's
Oh
got
yeah,
remember
yeah,
he's
with the
got
head of the
his face, and then he's got this like fucking like sheep like seat thing on, and then he's got like Voldemort's head in the back. Like you've got two heads going on there, bro. Fucking terrifying.
It's all good. I couldn't care less. I have signed a marriage contract. I am good. I have a wife and she is contractually signed in, so it's over. Game over. Couldn't care less. But
Um, so anyway,
what's the deal with this hat? Give us the weekly hat update. This is a new hat.
no, this is the same one as last week. It's Colorado Rockies from. I went to a Rockies game with Brody Forbes, my main man, who apparently
has a Brody.
He hasn't listened to the podcast yet, so he's not getting a shout out. He can go fuck himself until he watches.
Motherfucker.
But yeah, he brought him to his first baseball game out in Denver when we were out there on a business trip, and it was like 95 degrees, I think, Fahrenheit that is, which is like 32, 33 Celsius. Blue skies everywhere, always like it is in Denver. Really good ball game, like just fucking, drinking beers in sunshine. Good game. I think it was a walk-off home run to win, but I picked this hat up while there. So yeah, I might do a little. Sam and I have got a fucking serious collection of hats now. She steals most of mine, but I might do a little weekly, bio on whatever hat I'm wearing, because it's not coming off until his hair gets cut. I'm telling you that much.
A lot of people now are getting the sister or the mom or the wife to cut their hair. Would you risk that? Would you let Sam give Sam a pair of scissors and roll the dice?
I think Sam is so like detail orientated, and I feel like she's so analytical with things. She'd probably do a somewhat decent job.
She'd probably break her wrist trying to give you a haircut, you fucking buffalo.
Or she gets a fucking. She's got to get one of the fucking, the meat cutters, the like electric meat cutters that you get for like a huge turkey or whatever. She's got to like grind up to give me a one. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a fade with this fucking meat grinder. But yeah, this terrifying thing is I've cut her hair before. I had to do it for her because she was broke as fuck, and I was terrified. I was like shaking cutting this.
Yeah, I shit myself cutting a girl's hair. Good.
So apparently I did a really, really good job. Like Sam's obviously been growing her hair out for quite some time now, and the thing with that is
27 odd years.
No, she cut her hair like very, very short. To go back. So her hair's like down to like probably like here now. But at the time it was kind of down to here, and it was looking really, really nice. And then she asked me to cut it, and I was like, shit, like what if I take off too much? She was like, oh, you just take off like half an inch. I took off about that much. I'm not even joking. Now, fortunately, I did it quite well. Like I cut in a very decent straight line. So she was actually overall very happy with it. And apparently I did really well according to hairdressers as well. But then she was like, oh, you did really well, so you can do it again. I was like, absolutely fucking not. It's like that's the most stressful thing I've ever done in my entire fucking life.
Is going to the hairdressers a serious expense in New York for
her, it's embarrassingly bad. Like I'm pretty sure she spends like $150 every time she does.
Yeah. It's the same in Ireland. It's fucking bananas.
For me, it's not bad though. Like I know a lot of people get $50 haircuts. Yeah, like I remember Brody.
Months, man. I grew up getting a tenner haircut.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So I get. Like, what the tippings are over here, but I go to a guy, he charges $20 for the cut, and I give him 10 for the,
that's pretty good.
Tip, which is absolutely fine. It's $30. It's nothing crazy. But like Brody, for example, was telling me, Brody's obviously got, this slick back hair. Like he needs to go to a very, very decent barber to do it. I can get a fade from anywhere. You know what I mean? Like it's not that difficult to do. So Brody sits down and he goes to this really like high-end place, and he's thinking it's probably going to be like $75 off the tip, right? And he's like, I don't mind paying it. I don't have to get a haircut all that often. But anyway, this guy apparently says to him, like, while he sat down nearing the end of his haircut, he's like, I don't have anything else. Do you want me to fix up the beard for you? And he was like, well, if you don't have any appointments, why not? So he gets the bill. He gets the bill. Yeah, he gets the bill at the end of it, and he said $140 for hair and beard. And he's like, he sat there thinking like, Like what? Like the guy made it seem as if he was like doing
Well
this.
played, Sir
Yeah.
Hairdresser.
And Brody's like, I'm
Take
never
your
ever
fucking
going
money.
back to that place again. Like I think he paid $160 for a haircut and a shape up on his beard. $160. Like that is just prime New York. Prime New York.
That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
160, like 160 quid. That's
That's that's 2 shares of Amazon.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe I haven't a clue. Uh,
Maybe not. It's probably one, but I mean, I'd rather
I
if I
think
can
one
share
share
an
is
Amazon.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think one share is like ridiculously high right now. 10 grand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Amazon stock is going up. It's going to continue while this goes on because everyone's reliant on Amazon orders.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
um,
It'll continue to go up, I'm sure.
yeah. Anyway, back to MMA. So we've obviously got a lot to look forward to now, which is good. Um, there's going to be more and more of these fight cards, though. That like they're going to be stacked fight cards for the next however long. So, what are some matchups? Some interesting matchups that you want to see.
Uh, there's a couple of matchups. There's a couple of matchups that I'd like to say that that I think that could be made now that people would watch. Um, within the realm of possibility could be made now. They might necessarily make sense, but we tune in and we'd enjoy them. So, um, if there was like a list of fights that I'd love to see happen, if I took over and I just went wild with matchmaking, Jorge Masvidal and Tony Ferguson. Can you imagine that fight at 170? Oh Jesus Christ! Give me that all day. Khabib and Usman, right?
Yeah,
They're both under the same management, so that fight doesn't get talked about as much because they said they won't do it. But what a matchup that is. Um, McGregor St. Pierre. So St. Pierre's talking that he might come out of retirement for a fight with Khabib because of legacy, blah blah blah. I don't think that fight will happen because McGregor doesn't have the legacy attached to him, i.e., the belt. But if they announce that fight St. Pierre's an outside chance there to have a fight with McGregor. But if they announce that fight at like 170, who the fuck is not watching that fight?
yeah.
That is a massive, massive, crazy fight.
I mean, it's massive, but we all know how that fight goes. Like I fully agree with you. Everyone's tuning into that. That is as big as it gets. You've got GSP return, which sells itself, and then against McGregor. And it's like, I mean, I would be tuning in personally because I'd be very interested to see how long McGregor lost against GSP.
Well, remember George St. Pierre, decision machine. Conor McGregor,
Yeah.
one shot KO. So all you got to do is crack him at some point in the 5 rounds. You know what I mean? So obviously he choked out Bisping recently, but apart from that, George St. Pierre is the decision machine, and you don't want to give McGregor 25 minutes to try and land that left hand shot.
Yeah. I mean,
that's
it, though. I mean, we've seen GSP take punishment from the likes of Hendricks, who's a power puncher that was knocking everybody out before that, and he took a lot of punishment and never really seen phase. So, like, I would confidently say that GSP's got a pretty solid chin on him. And I also think,
but now 38 years of age.
Yeah,
no?
100. Yeah, but I mean, we all said that when he came back against Bisping at the top of his game, and
36, 38 now. Pretty different, right?
I
know
feel like GSP is like a DC type when it comes to age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
professional.
Yeah, the guy's still in incredibly good shape, so it's not like he would take very long. But another one that you mentioned, Usman and Khabib, would love to see that. That would be a grappler's dream.
Jones versus Ngannou, give me that fight all day.
Wow,
if I had free reign, like think of these fights. Oh, fuck yeah, give me that fight. Jesus Christ.
That's one though. Like Jones can't take the same shots that he took from Reyes and Santos against Ngannou. Cannot. I don't care how much better he is than Ngannou. Ngannou just carries so much power that he just can't do that. Yeah. There's a couple that I want to see, and I've mentioned with you. I would love to see Tony and Max at 155.
Yeah.
See that.
Fuck yeah. Jesus Christ, what a scrap that is.
Yeah. I mean, it could be. I think he's the larger I think Tony is almost like Max, but larger, more accustomed to 155 and with a better ground game. So I think that
Yeah.
could be awful for Max, but it could also be fucking incredibly good. Like
Yeah.
it could be incredibly good. It really depends on how quickly Max can hurt, or if he can hurt Tony. But that could you imagine?
Oh, I got one.
What?
I'll tell you. I just thought of one there. I just thought of another matchup. You gave me one. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, that could be 5 rounds of just it could be similar to Justin and Tony, but my worry for Max in that fight would be when he came up against Poirier at 155. He just didn't seem to carry any weight up. He seemed to have the same power that he did at 145, and that's a bit of a problem. Like with Poirier, when he moved from 145 to 155, he was knocking people dead because the weight cut wasn't as extreme.
He was hammering people.
Yeah, he was just that run that he went on was crazy. And then I've got one more that no one has ever talked about, but I would be very, very interested to see this: Ortega and Khabib. Now, Ortega needs to win a couple of fights before he even gets close to that, but he's a huge 145er. Like, it would make sense for him to move up to 155. And I feel like, Poirier had Khabib in a little bit of trouble, and Ortega's ground game is quite sizably better than Poirier's. Now, Poirier is obviously lethal on the ground too, but Ortega is a high level grappler.
Yeah.
So, like, that is a very interesting. We talked about Ben Askren and Maya. Like, that could be a very, very similar fight, where you've got Khabib who can take you down at will, but then you've got somebody who can choke you out in very, very unorthodox positions. Not to say
Poirier nearly got him.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I feel like if people Ortega in that situation, Ortega submits it. That's what I want to see that fight for. And look, it could very, very well be Khabib takes him down and fucking mauls him. I'm not saying I think Ortega has a huge chance, but I think he's got a good chance. I think he's got a slightly above punches chance against Khabib. I think Ortega's got a better shot than McGregor does in a rematch. Put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, you can certainly make that argument. Ortega is an interesting one. You could probably see Ortega at 155 eventually, anyway, because he's pretty young, right? The one I thought of there, excuse me, I'm dehydrated as hell, man. I had a big cycle this morning. I haven't got any water into me because last week I was like bladder battling for the full hour. But as we finished the podcast, I like sprinted to the toilet for a piss. The fight I thought of there was Dillashaw's coming back, and Aldo just had an injury from a title fight. Neither are too far away. Now, maybe Dillashaw comes back and gets an immediate title fight. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But if it doesn't,
I hope not.
Dillashaw, Aldo, fuck me, give me that fight. Imagine the speed of that fucking fight.
Oh man,
that's a war. Or I suppose Dillashaw Marias, but
that would be technically probably as good, if not better, than what DJ and Cejudo was.
Yeah.
Like that
just seems very hesitant these days comparatively to.
Yeah, you raise a very, very good point. Yeah, I feel like he doesn't really, particularly the leg kicks. They've almost completely disappeared towards the end of his career, and like that's where he had so much success.
He must have an injury. Why is he not kicking?
I don't know. Maybe maybe it's a fear of it. Maybe he's hurt himself in training while kicking or something like that, and he's a little more reluctant. But yeah, I mean, I feel like can you remember what he did to Faber with those leg kicks?
Yeah, I actually saw a picture because it's from the Instagram page. I'm doing a lot of looking up of MMA content, and I saw a picture of Faber's leg the day after. Oh my god, man! It barely looks like a leg. Like it's just.
And everyone talks about Barbosa, but like Aldo was the first Barbosa. Aldo used to do the same amount of damage, and just like the way he used to throw them, they came from nothing and with like immense power. It was just absurd. So I want to fucking see that scrap. That's a good fucking scrap. That's one you could really, like Ortega could be. That's probably never going to happen. You could. I'm talking. We're obviously talking about speculative fights that probably won't happen. I don't ever see Max and Tony actually being booked because it's just too much at 155 for the likes of Tony.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you see that fight in about a year and a half.
Maybe, yeah. Well, the thing is
If
though,
Tony is not champion, I'd say if Tony's champion,
yeah,
I don't see Max. I don't see Max being a number one contender at lightweight for a while. I don't see Max beating Volkanovski in a rematch, and then he then may go up to lightweight, but I don't expect him to be a top contender. He has to win 2 or 3 at lightweight before he can go for that.
You raise a very good point there with Volkanovski as well, because that's probably the most underrated champion that's ever been in the
Definitely.
UFC. Like, insane, to beat Mendes, Aldo, and then Max the way he did. No one's ever done that to Max.
Yeah.
No one.
And
No one.
Aldo in Brazil as well.
Yep.
Casually.
It's like he's if he keeps going the way he's going, I can't really see him going up and having a huge amount of success at 55. I think he'd do well, but I couldn't see him ever beating, winning belt at 155, particularly with Khabib there. But
How long could Khabib be there though? That's it.
Yeah, well, there's so many moving parts right now. It's insane. Yeah. It really is. Like, there's so many things that could potentially happen that might be, we might look back at this and be like, what the fuck were we talking about? There's no chance. Or it could be like, oh shit, this is actually gonna happen.
Yeah. It's gonna be cool actually. That's one thing I didn't really think about that. We're gonna be able to go like, like in like a year, like Jesus Christ, remember that fight? Like, oh yeah, let's check out what we were saying or whatever. We'll have an archive of pre-fight analysis.
Well, hopefully in a year's time, I'm not confusing fucking Shogun Rua and Glover Teixeira.
Way.
Look, you gotta make fun of yourself when you do stupid shit,
Sure.
Or in this sense.
That's I'm next to fuck up now, and I look forward to you laughing your head off at me. Come here, what's behind you there, man? It looks like a wooden floor with a pillow. To your
this is a little coffee table.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this? Some sort of weird fucking bed.
Yeah, it's a coffee table in there. Yeah, this is the spare room, so the bed is like right here. We actually brought the coffee table in here because it was too big for Odin, so he kept didn't really have a lot of space for it. So it's just in here now. But I think that's it though.
Yeah, but that's it. We've just crunched 70 minutes, I think, an hour and a bit. For some reason it doesn't say how long we've been on or whatever. I try and time it on the timer. Maybe you fucking.
I've got to say, like, the content might not be great, but like we've got fucking. We should pat ourselves on the back for being able to talk shit about, for 70 fucking minutes about shit that isn't even it's confirmed, but it might not even fucking happen. I think we're decent at spoofing our way through 70 minutes of the podcast, right?
Yeah, and look, hopefully we're improving. That's all we're trying to do, right? It's just improve as we go, learn as we go.
Let us know.
Hopefully this has resulted in better sound quality for people, or maybe I'm slobbering into it and breathing heavily, and who knows. But yeah, guys, so cheers to everyone tuning in, and I'm gonna go hit my hammock and have a beer for myself and play some Pokemon on my phone, because fuck you, Corona.
Sounds delightful. Yeah, and keep the comments and stuff coming. If you love or hate us, doesn't really matter. We wanna improve and make sure we're getting the right content out. So please let us know. And thank you for listening in to episode 3. And we got some exciting shit coming up. So tune on in.
Beautiful. All right, brother. Listen, good to see you. Chat to you later. All right, peace.